Hey guys and gals, welcome to day number 5. It's hard to believe we've already went through, all these great lessons today, this week rather, and we are on to the last lesson for this week. It doesn't mean it's the last you're going to see of me and Jason. We're always kind of here to answer questions. If you have anything, tag and post us in this group or post anything and we'll do our best to answer. I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that this week. We kind of started out the week with an introduction to kind of give you guys a recap of what we were going to do. And then we went into what I think was a good, stepping stones to get to this final lesson, Jason. I don't know if you agree or not, but, we talked about the whole idea of Emerald and what goes with Emerald, from, understanding the comp plan a little bit more, bonuses, the whole spouse question. And then we went into, a discussion about volume, how that relates to rank.
Well, just to interrupt for a second, Monday was the intro, and that kind of gave you a schedule of what to look for through the whole week. And one of the things I've learned when it comes to speech writing or giving any presentation is maybe do something fun to start out with, get their attention, maybe something humorous. Next thing is tell them what you're going to cover, and then go into the individual points. And then at the end of it, summarize it. So this is an attempt to kind of summarize what we've done all week. So like you said, the first day is the intro that told you what was going on, told you what we were going to cover. And then second was the individual topic. So on Tuesday we did that Building Emerald call, or actually Building Emerald video from the SoCal event. And really what I think we should have taken away was the priorities that we give. And those are my recommended priorities. If you want to do something different, go ahead. But sometimes it's overly complicated, all the different things you can accomplish at Beachbody. And so I like those priorities to kind of tell you what to do. And then other thing there was we went over the graphics, and I put a lot of time into doing the individual graphics and showing you how to become Emerald, Ruby, and Diamond. Hopefully that helps. And hopefully everybody's enjoyed these videos as much as Jeff and myself have enjoyed spending the time to put it together in a nice even flow, and then the individuals that we've done here. But then some terminology and some graphics about the different ranks. And the big thing I think to take away from that was like how if you structure a family member or a second CBC, in that weak spot, you can increase your individual commissions by 14%, from 25% to 39%, based upon if you're selling in the weakest spot of your organization.
Yep. And then on Wednesday, we talked about, rank and volume, Jason. It was your leadership discussion over there in Dana Point. And that kind of really started to get into a more deeper dive of really how to build your business when you get to this diamond rank, because that's where things start to get really interesting. You developed, obviously, a couple at least Emerald leaders. You have some team below you, and this whole question about volume and how it relates to income kind of comes up, right, Jason?
Yeah, and I think this is a great pace to take it, because maybe not everybody in this group is at the Star Diamond or going to leadership conference yet. But I think it's good to hear these things up front, and maybe, you kind of tune out a little bit after the Emerald speech. But as you do grow your business, it's going to be great to go back and look at that leadership talk or just hear that stuff and kind of plan for success in the future. So yeah, in that talk, one of the things I talk about is what, everybody talks about making $1,000 a week. And I know this might be backwards for y'all, but this was one of my first checks where I make $1,000 a week, and 92% of that check came from the bonus structure. And this particular check, the matching bonus was pretty small. And when I designed that leadership speech, I wasn't paying a lot of attention to matching bonus. But that's why it's a topic here today, and I'm going to show you why that can ultimately maybe be the most profitable part of your business. But the other things we talked about in leadership speech was, how rank is really your permission to earn. You can't go out and earn $12,000 a week unless you have the rank to do it. But you're not going to earn $12,000 unless you have the volume to achieve it. So rank you can think of as permission to earn, but volume is how you actualize the actual income. And then, kind of the last thing there, and I want to underestimate it, is the importance of Success Club. If you take away one thing from this entire group, and I know these are Emeralds trying to build the tournament, but it's the importance of being Emerald right off the bat, building Emeralds in your team, and then just doing that Success Club every month after month.
And I know that, guys, you're going to have one of the awesome leaders in here, Chris Reed, either still this weekend, shooting a video on Success Club. So Jason kind of segued nicely into that. And I was one of the guys that was sitting out in the crowd when Jason presented this in Dana Point. And I can just remember looking at those numbers, seeing all that volume and how it could be intimidating for a younger coach. But guys, this is what's coming for you. You know, from my perspective, looking at it, this is what's coming for all of you with, you know, that all-in attitude and being here in time. But Jason really touches the best point of that about how rank and volume are so closely related. You guys have to understand that. You really have to get the fact that those two go together. You know, one is, like Jason said, permission to earn that money, and the other one is the actual numbers you need to earn that income. So they're hand in hand. You guys are going to see that, you know, as we continue to build to our 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10-star diamond. So
as you mentioned that, two things come to my mind. I posted a link to a website that allows you to put in your volume. You just download your volume, and it will tell you what rank you need to be to avoid capping based upon that volume. And the other thing is Jeff's next topic, you know, Thursday here, was to talk about the comp plan and how the individual ranks allow you to achieve a certain amount of money. And I didn't plan this, but I just pulled this sheet off my desk. And it's from the comp plan that shows you how much money you can earn based upon your rank and how many PS coaches you need. And I've taken the time to write down who those people are going to be in order for you to achieve some of those ranks. So this is something that doesn't leave my table. And that way I know what I need to achieve to get the next rank advancement or make sure I don't cap out. So if you use those two tools, I think you're in good shape. So I watched Jeff's video for the first time today, you know, and he talks about 10-star versus 15-star and how the cap is different, talks about having multiple CBCs, focused on volume, you know, in order to earn more money. That's, again, kind of for the leadership thing. And build with intent of the future. You know, Jeff's got insight into this business 2-3 years down the road that most of us don't have from his experience with caps. So very important that you pay attention to that. And that's why, as an Emerald New Diamond, you might want to be looking at that leadership talk and think, how can I plan for the future? Because it's not a question of if it's going to happen. It's just like when it's going to happen. And if you've built your foundation the best way when you get there. The comp plan, and this is maybe something Jeff and I disagree upon, you know, a little bit. You know, Jeff says it's great to put in the bathroom for bathroom reading. I think I might have given you that idea.
I think I might have read it in the bathroom a long time ago.
But I don't think it's necessarily something that you have to sit down there and read, you know, word for word. The way I use it, just to be honest, is, you know, I look at the do's and don'ts, which is a 2-page PDF document in the back office. Where the comp plan is in the back office. I keep this sheet on my desk every day, all day, because that's something I use all the time. And I use it as a reference material. I think the comp plan is more like a dictionary than it is a Bible. You know, whenever you have a question that you don't know how to spell or you don't know the exact answer to, that's where I know when the comp plan is, you know, in the back office under forms and documents, compensation plan, and I look up the exact answer there. So it's like, you know, can we sell on eBay and what's the words around that? I go back to the comp plan, look up the individual segment and check it out there. So it's great to read over. I think the do's and don'ts are enough to get you going, and then use it as a reference. Yeah, and then stacking CBCs. And Jeff talked about, you know, one of my motivations is to stack multiple CBCs, and it allows me to cycle. You know, you make a commission in that bottom CBC, and you see a cycle, a cycle, a cycle. And at some point, you'll be getting paid to order products. So that's a really neat opportunity to have.
Yeah, and hold that picture up again, Jason, that you got of the ranks right there.
Yeah, I seriously think this is one of the most important things to have. I've got all kinds of different writings on here. So, you know, it starts with, these are only the star diamond ranks.
The reason I had him, the reason that I had him hold that up. Hear me, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason I had him hold that up is I have the electronic file for that. So tomorrow in day 4, or day 5 rather, I will post a picture of that so you guys can copy it yourself, print that off, and have it. And let me just preface it by saying, you can bring it down now. Let me just preface it by saying that, you know, Jason and I do sometimes have differences in how we think and all that. That's what makes us a great team. You know, it's kind of funny. Jason and I go to events and stuff, and, you know, Jason over the time has kind of taught me how to cut loose, have a little fun at some of these events, and I to him, I'm the guy that tells him where we're supposed to be and when. So, you know, that's just great about, you know, and that's something we didn't talk about, but I know it's talked about earlier in this group is, you know, finding a success partner, someone that can help you guys be your yin for yang and learn all these different things that you're talking about, have discussions around that. So, yeah, I appreciate that review of the last day, which brings us to the final topic today.
One more thing there that just came up is, like, I think it's great as leaders that we can post this link to this document and give you a picture But I think as you all become leaders individually, you need to know the difference between doing things for people and showing people how to do things. So as great as that is, and I want you to post that picture, I think it's more important to show people to go to the new back office, go to forms and documents, and then genealogy, the comp plan is there. And then in the comp plan on page 39, in this case, it might have changed now, is where that star diamond structure is. And that way, and it's something I have to catch myself on all the time. I want to help everybody. I want to show them exactly how to do it. But when you do it for them, in a way, you're taking away, because now they don't know how to do it and they can't teach it to their people. So just kind of a little bit different mindset there that everybody in this group needs to be thinking about as you become bigger leaders.
Agreed. And you guys all will be bigger leaders. I'm going to say it again and reemphasize what Jason said. These numbers, everything that you've seen us discuss this week is going to happen for you guys if you guys continue to be in it for the long haul. It's not a matter of when it's going to, it's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's when. He's so right when he says that. Brings us to our last topic. And this is a topic that doesn't get talked about too much in any type of training. I haven't really seen it talked about on stage or at Summit or leadership anywhere, but it's a hidden gem, I think, in our comp plan. It is something that is there for you guys to not max out at. It's something in there that can make any CBC that is maxed out at a 10-star diamond continue to grow all the time. And it's something that just isn't taught about. And I think that's kind of by design, but we're going to bring it to you today. And that's the whole matching bonus. Jason, tell us about matching bonus. What is that?
Well, one thing there, and also I was listening to your, Thursday call, and one thing you say is like most people probably don't recommend or remember a change in the comp plan. Well, no, I think everybody that's a coach now does, because just in this last month or two, it went from you only get customer leads instead of just being a qualified emerald. Now you have to go to Success Club 5 to get the customer leads and Success Club 10 to get Shakeology leads. And that, in effect, is a change in the comp plan. It's a way to pay out less or, give less leads away to more qualified things. So to think that won't happen in the future, is a fallacy. It's totally going to happen at some point. And this is a way to kind of avoid that or use this rule the way it is now to maximize your income. So the first thing that comes up with matching bonus, and I think this happens to every new coach. I think I remember when Jeff asked me about this, and I remember when I asked my coach about this. I'm like, and his answer was awesome, by the way. So it's like, what is a matching bonus, right? You see one of these checks, like this is, again, I like to speak from, this is, people want to get $1,000 a week. So this is how you do it. This is my first $1,000 week check. That's what it looked like. And I have matching bonus circled. Again, it might be reversed for you, but it was $60. Out of that $1,000 check, it was $60. So that's like 0.6% of that check came from matching bonus. So when I looked at that, two things occurred. It's like, what is it? And second is, it's not a significant portion of my check that maybe I need to focus on. And we're going to show you how that changes and becomes different. But so the first question is, what is it? So I asked my coach, I got this matching bonus, $60. What is it? And he's like, honestly, I don't really know. I think it is if you get a percentage of your PS coaches. And that's partially true, but I did the math on it and it didn't work out. So really what it is so Jeff is my PS coach. So every time Jeff gets his weekly check, let's say he made $10,000 this week, but only $9,000 of that check came from his cycle bonuses. Well, a matching bonus is I get a certain percentage of what Jeff makes from his team cycle bonus. So if he made $9,000 that week from team cycle bonus, I get 10% of it as a diamond coach. I make $900. So as Jeff's income becomes more significant, my matching bonus becomes a larger and larger portion of the significant part of my checks. So matching bonus, therefore, is the percentage that you earn from your PS coaches' cycle bonuses. So now if you think about it this way, 92% of this check came from my team cycle bonus, and almost 1% came from matching bonus. As your team grows, that matching bonus will become bigger and bigger. So when I talk about the biggest portion of your check for long-term residual money is bonuses, it's really these two in combination. And this is something I didn't understand right off the bat because my matching bonuses weren't huge. Okay, so 10%, you get 10% of the your PS coaches cycle bonuses if you're a diamond. If you're a ruby, you get 5%. So it's one of these advantages that it makes a definite sense to get up to that diamond, because now your matching bonus just doubled, just out of magic by that rank. So it's a really great reason to be diamond. Rubies get 5%, and that's pretty good. To be a ruby, that means you have at least 2 emerald coaches, right? And a couple extra coaches on each side. So it makes sense that you can earn matching bonuses off of them. Now, as an emerald, you only have 2 coaches on your team. They're not making cycle bonuses yet, so you can't even earn a matching bonus until you get to the rank of ruby. So emeralds don't get anything for a matching bonus, and it's a great reason why once you're emerald, to shoot for the next ranks. Ruby with 5%, diamond with 10%. So the next thing I had here was to show you these income charts. So this is the actual chart I used in that leadership speech. So if you paid close attention, these are the numbers you saw there. And because it was less than 1% of my check, the matching bonus was not significant. So now what I want to do is show you the same thing. This is another $1,000 check, which again, most people have that kind of goal. I want to get $1,000. If you're already there, you want to get to $2,000. So just double these numbers. It makes percentages really easy when you have a nice round number like 1,000. But this is a pretty current check for my second CBC, I believe, the one that sponsored Jeff actually, and you can see that these numbers are considerably different. So now when I look at these numbers, again, I made a total of $1,000 that week, maybe a little bit more. But now when you look at matching bonus, and I'm not sure if you can see it really good, but it's the one that's highlighted there in yellow. It was $631, or 63% of this $1,000 check was based purely off matching bonus. And if you look, my team cycle bonus in this case was only $414. That has more to do with not having my weak leg in the right spot. I have a high rank there, but I don't have a ton of volume on the weak leg. So that's got to be one of my top priorities, building more volume in the weak side of my second CBC. But the important thing here is that matching bonus and how it can become more than your team cycle bonus. So the next thing I want to show you, and I know these aren't coming out super good on the small video, is where do these matching bonuses come from? So I said Jeff was sponsored by my first CBC. So I made $600 some this week in matching bonus, and it shows you each coach how much money they made for their cycle bonus and how much you earned in your matching bonus. So because Jeff earned $4,000 this week in his first CBC for cycle bonuses, I got $403 just because I sponsored Jeff. And like what a gift that is. Now I think one of the neatest things here is look at the second one. So the second top matching bonus in my second CBC this week was $200 bonus because this coach named Jason Diebold made $2,000 in cycle bonuses. And it's like, what? That kind of blows my mind. Because my third CBC made $2,000, I make an extra $200. You're making money because you made money. It kind of doesn't make sense, and it's one of the awesome things about this company. But as Jeff's income goes up to be, cycle bonus goes up to the max of $12,000 a week, or my third CBC goes up to the max of $12,000 a week, that's an extra $1,200 I'm going to earn for each of these 2 individual great coaches. Another thing that I want to say here about matching bonus is a lot of people in Beachbody, are weird about money. Sometimes they're like, don't talk to Jason and Jeff because they're just all money hungry. They don't want to help people. First of all, that's wrong. And the second thing is this is my favorite part of the check every week. This is the one thing I go into the back office and I click on, when you go to your back office, you see how much you make per week. It breaks it down to all these individual categories. I always click on matching bonus because I want to see that Jeff earned $4,000 this week in cycle bonus. I want to see that Marlene, earned a couple $100. My boy Greg is getting higher and higher. This tells me the impact that I've had in these individual coaches' lives, and I know all their goals. Jeff's first goal was to pay off his camper, right? And when I see these numbers getting high enough, I'm like, dude, I'm helping Jeff accomplish that goal. So this is by far, I think, one of the most philanthropic parts of your check that you're going to get every week. And it's one thing that you always want to do. Another reason, me and Jeff talk about, trying to, hit that 9-star if you've got a weak leg, or hit 10-star if you're really even legs, and maybe not shoot for the 15-star because you're kind of wasting your diamond's volume. Well, that's true, but when you look at it purely off the matching bonus percentage, I kind of don't care where the diamonds are at because I'm going to make this matching bonus only once off each individual coach, no matter which CBC they're sponsored in. So it's one of these things that I can look back on. It's like, oh, I wish I would have placed Jeff in the third CBC on the weak leg because that would have given me more volume and I have a high enough rank in my second CBC. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? The matching bonus is the same. And so even when you make mistakes, it's still a great way to earn by helping other people. So I don't want to underestimate that enough. It's the one part of your check that you feel good about getting every week. And no matter which Beachbody coach you are, you're never going to feel guilty about helping other people make money. So I want to stress that quite a bit.
And let me just add too that that's one part of your check, guys, that unlike the cycle bonuses doesn't really have a cap. I mean, I guess there is kind of a cap based on if you have every one of your coaches maxing out at a 10-star rank, but that's not realistically going to happen. I mean, it may happen many years down the road, but it's an opportunity for you to continue to see growth past the 10-star capital rate. And that's just something that I think is really important, Jason.
It's cool. I'm looking at my notes. That's kind of why I had to take a pause. And the next thing I have is no caps. Yeah. And, so it's funny the way that we think alike, because we learn together. So you guys watched this leadership, talk that I did with Michael Neiman on stage. This was given to all the best coaches out there and everybody really liked it. But I didn't mention matching bonus because I went off that first set of numbers where matching bonus was only 6% of my check. Now going back and seeing how other coaches have built, this maybe is a more interesting part of your check because it doesn't have this limit. So let's talk about that for a second. Let's say, you're trying to maximize your income and you've risen to the rank of 10-star or 15-star. You can make $12,000 a week with your team cycle bonus, and that's an awesome portion of your money. Say that you're 15-star and you're getting these awesome $40,000 a quarter 15-star bonuses. Well, when you do the math with that, 40,000 divided by 12 weeks really comes out to be about 3,000 a week, give or take. So add those two numbers together. You're maxing out the comp plan. You're getting your team cycle, your star diamond bonus divided by the weekly, by the number of weeks in the quarter. So that's 3,000. Add those two numbers together. The maximum that you can make in one CBC, independent of anything else, off of bonuses and star diamond bonus, is 15,000 a week. Now, obviously, you can make more commission, and we're going to show you how you can make more with matching bonus. But that's the max you're going to make, and you're capped off. So, how would that work in terms of matching bonus now? So let's say I cap that off that CBC by making that much money of star diamond bonus and cycle bonus. But now, if I'm a 15-star bonus, if I'm a 15-star diamond coach, and each of those 15 diamonds now gets to the point where they're earning $10,000 a week. And this is maybe a point where I could disenfranchise some people. They're like, Jason, I'm a new diamond. By the time I have 15 diamonds that are each making $10,000 a week, I'll be in the grave. And that may be the case, but it may be not, especially with all the stuff Jeff knows coming up here from his involvement in CAB. But that will happen someday. And it's just like how on these checks here showing, Jeff making the $4,000 or $5,000 a week, where I get an extra $400 or $500 a week from his matching bonus. It's going to be to the point where he hits that $12,000 a week or the $10,000 a week, and I either get $1,000 or $1,200 off of it. So let's think back. You're a 15-star diamond. Your team's growing crazy. It's got all the volume, and we can name the coaches that have this. The Hillary Kellys, the Janelle Summers, the Christine Dwyers, we got to put a guy in there. Josh Spencer, right, has a great downline with Wayne Wyatt and all these other great coaches in it. So it's happening. Now, if each of those coaches make $10,000 a week, you got 15 coaches coming back to you with $1,000 extra. Now it's $15,000 a week in matching bonus. So your weekly check then would go from the $15,000 that we already talked about to an extra $15,000. Now you're at $30,000. If you had 16 diamonds each doing $10,000, now you just made more in matching bonus than you could possibly make in cycle bonus and star diamond bonus. And that's where this really gets exciting.
And I bet you, Jason, there probably are some coaches that's already starting to happen to, where their matching bonuses is out working or out earning the cycle bonuses, right?
Well, I take a lot of pride in knowing what's going on in the business. Like, somebody says, hey, they got a new training. I'm like, yeah, I know they got a training that's working awesome. somebody else says, hey, this girl's making this much a week, or this guy's making that much a week. And I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. Like, she only has 2 CBCs. She's an 8-star and a 5-star. So that means she could only make this much. She's lying. Or she's making tons of money in matching bonus. And this is the point that came to my head. It's like, at some point, when your team grows big enough, you can make more than the other coaches, independent of your own rank, based upon how your PS coaches are doing. And so, there's somebody in particular, one of our top coach females, blonde hair, I don't want to mention any names, Lindsay Matway, that said something about her income. And I'm like, no way. Like, she only has 2 CBCs, her rank's not high enough. But when I thought about it, you add the matching bonuses into it, yes, it's possible for her to make that much money. And so that's where I want to go next. And we started this whole week off talking about how to get to the $1,000 a week mark, because, again, so many people are interested in that. Or you can always see multiples of your check go up in $1,000 and get excited. But now let's talk about, and this is one of my next goals, I think, Jeff, you're getting close to it too, is $1 million a year. So instead of $1,000 a week, which is what, $52,000 a year, what would $1 million a week look like? And Jeff probably knows this number. Do you know the number, how much you have to make per week?
Yeah, it's like $19,300 and some dollars basically a week.
Right at $19,320 a week, because it's been a goal of mine for the last 2-3 years to get there. So let's look at different scenarios of how you can get to that point. I've got another one here. So who would like to earn $1 million a year is the question here. If you take $1 million divided by 15 2 weeks, that comes out to be $19,230 a week, or I think it's $320. Team cycle bonuses per week max is $12,000. That happens at a 10-star. Okay, so 10-star bonus would be $12,000 a quarter, or roughly $1,000 a week. And again, those numbers can go up and down, so that's an estimate. Take those two numbers together, $12,000 a week and $1,000 a week for the Star Diamond bonus. That's $13,000 a week. So $19,320 minus that $13,000 is $6,320 a week. So you're a 10-star coach, and you need to make an extra $6,000 a week, roughly. So that's, if you had 7 coaches that were each earning $10,000, which is going to happen by the time that you've reached all these numbers, then that's an extra $7,000 a week. Add that to the 13. Now you're at your $19,000 a week. And I know this is kind of far off pie in the sky for some people, but you need to think about how this works, how your PS coaches are contributing to it, and then stop looking at some of your coaches as volume producers and as real people that have individual goals, and you're going to excel from that as well because of the great matching bonuses that they do. So it's just kind of a different, mind shift or perspective change. It's like, well, this coach is not the guy that just does volume in my weak leg. No, this is the guy that's trying to make $10,000 a week for himself, and that's going to help me by making an extra $1,000. All right, so I got one last scenario, and I know we're probably getting long here, and hopefully, again, this is new, helpful information. Again, it's something I didn't think about for the first 3 4 years of my business. And again, I didn't know about it for that leadership speech. Otherwise, it would have been on there. So is anybody doing that yet? Is there anybody out there that's making $1 million a year? And the question is yes. But let's talk about one of the most successful coaches that we have in the business, and I'm saying this off of rank. I think this is still true, and this is from a speech I did last July. But Janelle Summers had just gone last July 15-star in her 3rd CBC. So that means she's got 3 different CBCs that each have at least 15 diamonds. Okay, so now here's the scenario. If each of those PS coaches were earning $10,000 a week in team cycle bonus, she would be earning an extra $45,000 a week in matching bonuses alone. She would be earning an extra $45,000 a week in matching bonuses alone. And I'm sure that there's nobody in the company yet that has 45 PS coaches that are each making $10,000 a week yet. But someday that's going to happen. And obviously, Janelle already has enough coaches to make it so. They just have to increase their volume, which is what we've talked about all week. But if that happens, $45,000 a week times 52 weeks a year is $2.32 million. So off of matching bonus alone, if you had 3 15-star centers and they were all maxing out the comp plan, you're making almost $2.5 million.
Just in matching bonuses.
And just matching bonus. We're not talking about star diamond bonus. We're not talking about your cycle bonus, which right now is still the vast majority of all my checks. But you can see how long term this is going to be a thing to look out for. And as Jeff said, in Thursday's call, at some point the compensation plan will have to restructure to account for this. One more perspective is that Jeff said we were excited when the comp plan shifted from $25 per $360 PV cycle to $18 for a 300 PV cycle. And it's true, we were excited because our incomes initially went up. But the thing that was they're kind of twisting in there is now your maximum caps were tied to your rank. And so what Beachbody was effectively doing is saying, well, there's not going to be any fat cats out there that can make this much money if they're not working their business. You can only make this much money based upon the rank that you have. And so that qualification allowed Beachbody to stop capping out each individual center based upon how much you made. It created this capping structure based upon rank, which I think is more fair. But what's the next change going to be? And can we use this matching bonus to affect the goals that you have for your own life while it still exists and before it changes up?
Yep. And guys, it's inevitable. Comp plans do change. That's the way that the companies stay viable and can still pay us. It's going to happen, but we will worry about that at that time, and we'll figure out how to work your business at that time. But hopefully this week, you guys got from us, like Jason said something earlier, and I wanted to make sure I commented on that. Guys, this whole discussion wasn't meant to disenfranchise you guys. It wasn't meant to scare you. It wasn't meant to, man, this is just way too much. This was meant to educate you. You don't need to know all this in this 5 days. These are discussions you can come back to, videos you can watch, and you're going to learn more and more. You're going to say light bulbs are going to be popping on throughout the next couple year for you guys as you reach these different ranks, as you have these different scenarios, as your volume grows, as your rank grows. This is just information that you guys need to know because it's basically how you're paid. This is what's possible. It's what's out there for you, and it's what's attainable. This whole week was designed to give you guys a low-level view, from the Emerald discussion to this high-level view as we start talking about these crazy checks that happen because of matching bonuses for growing your team. But this all relates to how you guys develop as a leader. Everything, from Emerald to this matching bonus all indicates what kind of level and what kind of leader you are. And that's what this whole group is about. It's about, when you get to Diamond, that's when you are really starting to look at from your team and Beachbody's eyes. That's when that whole idea of being a leader really comes out. And being a leader means understanding the comp plan. So, Jason, I really appreciate you spending, time with me this week and helping me, take these people through the comp plan and all the ins and outs through it. And I look forward to doing more stuff with you, dude.
Yeah. Well, again, I hope that this is everybody's enjoyed watching some of these videos, even if not fully understanding it. If you're not at this $2.3 million a year yet, I understand that. So maybe it's not your highest priority, but hopefully you've enjoyed these videos half as much as we've enjoyed giving them to you. I went back and looked at all the videos today, so I made sure I wasn't kind of duplicating any information that we talked about. And it's no coincidence that in each one of those videos, if I'm speaking, I mention Jeff, or if Jeff's speaking, he mentions me, which I'm super humbled by. And I think that's one of the long-term things in this business. You're not going to be there on your deathbed, be like, I should have made an extra $5K a week on cycle bonuses. You're going to be like, I wish I would have spent more time with the people I love. And this is the cool opportunity in this business to build great businesses with friends from elementary school, me and Jeff here. And one of the most, I know Robert's part of this group, and one of the most impactful things for me was one of the first events I went to. Robert Hutchins was up on stage getting his Diamond Award, but he had a high school buddy that went up there with him who had just lost 40, 50 pounds. And that was one of my things. It's like, man, I need to contribute to the life of somebody else that's, already in my circle. And it's pretty easy to ignore one guy, but when you can get a movement, you get two guys from the same high school, or three people, or four. Pete Pena is from our same high school. It becomes impossible to ignore, such a large group of people doing well. And that's one of the great things about this business. When I see my income go up, I know how that affects Jeff's income and how that's achieving his next life goals. And one of the best things about Jeff is every time he reaches one of these income goals or life goals, he puts it up, and I can go back and tell you what they all were. The last one he did was the family trip to Paris, and I know you've got a new one on top of that. But always keep raising your expectations, and tying that into the overall 6 human needs that we've talked about. I really appreciated what some people said they liked that topic and that call. And yeah, we're here to serve. So whatever way we can help, keep putting the questions underneath in the comment field, or reach out to Jeff and me individually, and we'll do our best. Even if this particular topic and video isn't what you need right now, take this away, put this in your library, and so at some point you're going to have to come back out and look, well, what was the matching bonus all about? And that's exactly how we're going to use it. All the other great leaders that have been part of this group, like, we're going to go back, see those videos, and see how they fit into our individual training programs. It's not the right call for an Emerald coach. That's why we saved it for our last day. But put this in your library, and when it comes time for you to need this, know more about matching bonus. You get that question, what's a matching bonus? This is going to spell it out for you.
Absolutely. Guys, Jason said something that's really key to kind of end things here. Readjust and reset your goals all the time. You're basically only going to work as hard as that goal that you have. And when you reach it, a lot of us are guilty of getting stale and kind of stagnant. He's right. I had to keep adjusting and challenging myself, and you guys are going to need to do that in order to reach all these milestones that we talked about. Now, Jason's right. We have known each other for a long time. I'm going to close out with a quiz here. Tell me, Jason, if you can see this picture.
I was looking for that today.
So you guys' job is to pause it at this point here and try to figure out where Jason is and where I am in this picture.
Raise it up a little bit. Yeah, right there. You can see everybody good right there.
Yeah, right there. So see if you can figure out who Jason is and who I am.
Yeah, say third or fourth from – it's gone now. You say third or fourth from the right or left, and just a fun little game. We can see how many people actually watch the video, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly right. Okay, gang, we're going to close out the week. I had a blast doing it. Thanks, Jason. Next week, you got the awesome 15-star diamond from Cab with me, and he's just great. Jason and I had him on the call last week. Vito Lafado is going to take you guys through the fit business and everything related to that, and just going to be an awesome week. So really enjoyed doing this for you. Say bye, Jason.
Bye, Jason. Hasta luego.
Take care.